Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dolynny TV. I'm Tyson Dolynny, ready to take you through today's fun and exciting Edmonton Oilers news. What we'll cover in this video is, well, you know what? We moved Jones back up to the NHL after scoring a goal in the NHL game. And then, of course, we sent down Joel Persson in the corresponding roster move. So I'll discuss kind of how that all maths out for the Edmonton Oilers. And then, of course, we'll get to those new lineups that we saw from... Well, I first saw him from Jason Gregor today. I'll give credit where credit is due for where I saw him. And, well, aren't they quite surprising? They are a change-up. So with that, let's just quickly break down moving Caleb Jones back to the NHL, moving Joel Persson back to the AHL. The big key here is, guys, the play with Joel Persson. You know what? It's not how he's playing overall. It's one dumb play that Joel Persson made last night, and it's the epitome of what the Oilers did wrong last night. Joel Persson came in far side of the screen. I guess I'm not a coach. I can't be talking weak side, strong side. Far side of the ice on the camera angle, came down the boards, came around into the zone, picked up a puck, and I mean, guys, he had it all day to drive and drill a shot from the dot on the rush on Linus Ullmark. Okay, that he had a beautiful chance, and I mean, you can imagine if you were in Rogers Place when Joel Persson had that puck. I can't imagine a louder shoot in the history of the Rogers Place than last night with Joel Persson barreling down from the blue line to the dot on that chance. Instead, what does Joel Persson do with that puck? Similar to what everybody else did last night, overcomplicated. He ended up going from the blue line all the way to be behind the net and then passed it off. Okay, and that's, like I said, that's the epitome of the Oilers defense forward group. Everyone overcomplicating, overpassing last night. And we'll talk more about what we can do to solve those issues in the video later on tonight after I go shovel the entire block, because, ladies and gentlemen, she's snowing in southern Alberta. If you didn't catch on all my social media feeds today, I tweeted out, other than on the YouTube community tab, I tweeted out and I posted on Instagram the fact, well, yeah, the Zambonis are out in Airdrie. The Zamboni tractors are out in Airdrie, which means only one thing. Yeah, you know what? They're putting in ODRs, and it's getting to be that time, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sirree! But let's not get too excited about the ODR season confirmed. Let's get back on it. So why send down Persson, and after only a game or two down in the AHL, call back up Caleb Jones? What sense does that make? It makes that perfect sense. If you've caught what I've been arguing about Caleb Jones since he got called up, had that one good game, and then everything else was kind of meh, bleak, blah, you know what I mean? Nothing really stood out. Nothing doomed him, but nothing was that great about him either in those games he played so far this year. What I'm talking about is the fact that he's too good for the AHL, hence going down immediately scoring. B, the meek, blah play in the NHL, saying, well, you know what, he's not good enough for big minutes in the NHL. So what we see is a different evolution of the Oilers lineup in this move, because now you don't so much have Caleb Jones with Oscar Klefbom, right? That was the necessity pairing we were going with for a little while, right? We had Benning out of the lineup, we had Larson out of the lineup. We've rotated out with guys out of the lineup. Plus, while even when Benning's in the lineup, we've learned from prior history that Benning is not a top 4 D-man, and overplaying Benning is detrimental to the Oilers' health. Well, okay. So fair enough. You know what? You overplayed Caleb Jones, but this is supposedly a kid that should be getting ready for prime time in the next year or two, right? This is kind of the show me year. Well, didn't show me much in those first few games. Now he gets that chance with Benning still out of the lineup. Even with Benning back in the lineup, there might be some difference, because then what do you do with a guy like, well, you know, Chris Russell? Do you give him a night off and try a pairing of Jones and Benning and just start making those decisions? Because ultimately what this does is continues to complicate the defensive question. For the Edmonton Oilers, it's a mess, right? You've got Persson, Jones, Benning, Larson, Klefbom, Nurse, Manning, Russell. That's 8. That's 8 that I'm missing, and I'm sure I'm missing someone. Hold on, let me start top now. Bear, 9. Bear's 9. How could I forget Bear? Obviously, I'm not thinking about him messing up too much. He's been okay the past few games. Well, there you go. So we've got 9 complications to the defense when technically you're supposed to have 7. But at any given point, we've had somebody injured, and that's complicated the factors. So for this Edmonton Oilers team, it just keeps adding that complexity and trying to find that fit, trying to find that defensive system. And now, yes, there's a lot of questions being asked because, as a couple of you pointed out in the comments today, yesterday I did catch the graphic too about the Oilers' 5+ goal games. The last 10 have been a rough go. Now what I would say to counter that, the past 2, game 31-32, have been perfect, near perfect, right? Yeah, sure, we gave up 3 goals, but it was in extra time to the Buffalo Sabres after only giving up 1 to the LA Kings. Yeah, sure, we didn't win that one pretty, but 4 goals total in 2 games, that's 2 goals a game. Guys, if our goals against average as a team is at 2, we're in the playoffs as the number 1 seed. That's just simple math. But for the Oilers, the last 10 games have been rough, but I'm going to slightly blame some defensive, what would I say? Not inefficiencies, inequality. What am I looking for here? Inadequacies? Maybe? I know I'm looking for a word, and you guys know I always get lost looking for a word, but you get what I'm getting at, right? We just haven't had a strong, straightforward defensive unit like we did to begin the year. That's just plain and simple. Yeah, you know what? We've never really had that throughout this year, but we've been experimenting too much lately, and guys have been going down. Guys have not been playing up to potential. There's been a lot going on, but you know what? I think we got to just at some point figure that out and roll. And that's where I'm saying we've got 9 complications to a 7-man factor, and that's what's probably holding us back at this point. So with that said, I've ranted enough about that for 7 minutes. Let's rant about something else. Let's get into this, and this is maybe exactly where we see things change for the Edmonton Oilers, is the fact that we're going to change the lines. We're going to go out there and do something different. And this is exactly what I like to see. You know what? This could be 100% what we need. Because, I've argued all season long Nygaard should be with Neal and Nugent-Hopkins. But prior to the NHL season, I argued that Draisaitl and Nuge should be together on that second line and allow a development of a 1A, 1B for the Edmonton Oilers. Because let me tell you, you leave McDavid by himself, no matter who he's with, that's the top line. But you put Draisaitl and RNH together, ladies and gentlemen, that is a top line in the NHL, don't kid me wrong. And that's straightforward. You can argue it any way. It might not be the number 1 top line, might not be the number 5 top line, but it's definitely in there, especially with Draisaitl and Nuge together, a top 15 line in the NHL. So straight up, we've got ourselves some dynamite on that second line. Now, yes, okay, we've said that the second line is supposed to be this great, glorious thing all season long, and they've kind of sucked 5-on-5, but they've been power play specialists, RNH and Neal, and then you've had Kara out there scoring goals at random and at just whack times. But this line really pretty much gives you exactly what you have on the top line with Draisaitl, McDavid, Kassian. Roll it back the other way, Draisaitl, RNH, Kara. It's just a little bit slower, a little bit less skilled, just as effective. That's my argument. So it's good to see. Now, you know what? The top 2 lines, I'm excited about that. Nygaard getting a chance on the top line. That's the chance he signed here for, so don't kid yourself. This is where he was supposed to be at some point this season. It's good to see by game 32, he's finally earned that chance. We'll see if it sticks. It's the McDavid line. Things kind of get thrown at the wall. Sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. Look at Kassian as an example. That third line's exactly what I'm looking forward to. This is, by all definitions, one of the most effective bottom 6 lines the Oilers could put together at this point of the season. In what has become one of the sneaky good surprises of the Oilers season, other than his face-off percentage, Gaetan Haas, once he figured out the physicality, once he started grinding it out a bit more, he's become one of the most potent bottom 6 forwards we have, point-wise, everything-wise. And we're talking 6-7 points, and it's nothing fancy, but he's starting to be more effective. And look at last night, he won a face-off to Nurse to get a goal on the power play for the second unit. So there is something a little bit there, right? But you put Patrick Russell, Gaetan Haas, and James Neal together, let me tell you, That's an exciting go for me. That's 100% exciting because that gives Patrick Russell and Gaetan Haas that bona fide shooter, right? As long as James Neal is told shoot first, shoot, 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 don't worry about passing, just shoot, shoot. You've got Patrick Russell, guys, who just needs to grease one. He greased one the other night, got it called back. He just needs to grease one so bad, it's not even funny at this point. So that's why you put Neal on there. And Haas, who's a workhorse all of a sudden, you just put that all together. Music to my ears. Absolute music to my ears. Come on now, guys. That sounds like greasy goals. Tell me if I'm wrong. That sounds like greasy goals. Granlund, Sheehan, Archibald, it's the fourth line. You know what? I'm not going to get too excited, but you know what? They put in some good shifts last night too. A little bit sloppy at times, but you know what? That's a fourth line. We're not out here pretending like they're the best players in the NHL by any stretch of the imagination. That said, Sheehan got a goal last night, and well, there you go. Suck it, Toby Reeder. I don't know. You get what I'm going. It's not suck it, Toby Reeder, because Toby Reeder scored this year and all is forgiven, but it's suck it to the mantra of Toby Reeder and everybody saying, oh, this guy doesn't have a goal, well, blah, 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 blah. Now, well, where does that sit? That sits literally the only guy left is Patrick Russell, so hence the third line. And the D pairs, guys, we don't need to talk about the D pairs. It is what it is. And Koskinen in the starter's net hopefully holds true and we're all good. So that is just what it is for today's news. Now, what we'll get into in video number 2 a little bit later after I go shovel is the simple fact of 3 easy fixes the Oilers can implement in their games to win more hockey games. Do I have your attention? Okay, hit that subscribe button. Head out. Enjoy supper. I'll catch you afterwards. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here.